Welcome to another episode of I Take
D.
All right, this is a I Take D Ministries, and we want to welcome you. Please, if you have any questions or any topics that you would like for us to discuss, you can send us a private message, and we will try our very best to bring that topic that you share with us, or to answer the questions that you may have. So, as we promised, today we wanted to talk to you about a topic that's near and dear to our hearts, and that is details matter.
Details matters.
And we just want to again share with you a little bit of our own experience of how we had to learn again the hard way, or how details do matter. And one of the things that I wanted to share is that details are more than material things. It's not just buying stuff. A lot of times it's the actions that you take, and one of the things that I've learned is that with your details, sometimes that is the best way to show your spouse that you love them without having to say a word.
That's right. I think it's so important, and what better way than to look in the scripture in the Bible, what the Bible talks about details. And I just want to read you Luke 16:10, and it says, "One who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much, and one who is dishonest in very little is also dishonest in much."
Wow.
And I think that's so important, because we don't see details as something of a big of a deal. And one of the things I was sharing with my husband, it was, if without the details in the marriage, your marriage becomes bored.
Mm-hmm.
And many things couples also talk about, that the couple starts feeling less interest for their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because the lack of the small details in the marriage. And if you're asking, well, what the details are, are they gifts? Like what Joel just mentioned, there don't have to be necessarily gifts. But one of the things I really look into our relationship that really, really mean a lot to me is when I was sick not too long ago, during this winter. I was really, 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 really sick. And Joel took care of me so much. And the smallest little things. He prepared my PJs. He prepared my towel in the bathroom, just for I can take a shower. He took my work clothes off and my shoes, just so that he can, I feel a little bit less stressed and overwhelmed. And he did those little gestures that meant so much to me. Going to the store, what do you need? What kind of medicine do I need to purchase? And he went to the store, oh, I bought some ginger ale to make you feel better. All those little things, they're not so much for other people, but they meant so much for me at that precise moment. Even when I have like a long day at work, and he knows that I have worked all day and I'm coming home so tired, he already has my stuff set up in the bathroom for me. I think that's so loving, and so like, wow, he thought about me. And those little gestures work so well in marriage, and those are the details where we want to talk to you about today. Those are the small details that we lack in our marriage.
Yeah, I will have to say that Dad, I actually learned a lot from you, because as a male, early in our marriage, I'm very detail oriented, especially being from the military. I served 8 years in the U.S. Marines, and so details is everything to us. But just because I'm detailed in everything around my life, what I was lacking at the beginning of our marriage was having details towards my marriage. I had details towards everything else. I had details towards my job. I had details towards making sure I clean. I had details towards making sure I was a man of integrity, and all these little things. But I was lacking having details towards my spouse and my wife. And I had to learn that those details are important, and something as simple as bringing your PJs and making sure your towel, and now a lovely detail that I enjoy from each other is that when we're getting ready to go to bed, we'll set our pillows ready for us to lay our heads, and all that is very important. It makes a big difference in someone's life. And again, what I said is that it's not all material. A lot of times is what you do, is a gesture that you make, and it shows love in other ways, and rather than just having to say I love you. One of the things that my wife could talk about is one of the things we do every morning, although it might sound cheesy, but it makes a big difference.
Yes. And that is that we begin our morning, even though we say goodbye in the middle of the morning and said, have a good day. I hope your day goes well. We always text each other. I love you. Have a good day. Those little gestures will go such a long, long way, because at the end of the day, even though I'm at work and we say our goodbyes in the morning, we know that we can say we're thinking about each other in those little moments.
Absolutely. Those things are very important. And it makes a difference now. We even whoever gets to work first is the one who texts the other one I love you, and
becomes a little bit competitive. I was just getting ready to push the button to send and you beat me to it.
Yeah. The other thing is, in those details is by paying attention to your spouse. Again, that's something I lacked. I knew everything about what I wanted, but I never really paid attention to the things that my wife likes, like the kind of food she likes. And I made that mistake. I remember one time for her birthday, I set up a time for us to go out, and she'll remember this. I took her out to a Mexican restaurant, and nothing wrong with Mexican restaurant, but this one in particular just happened not to be the best approach or the best atmosphere, and she did not like it, And what it was is that I failed to look on the details of Mexican food is not her favorite. Her favorite is really Italian food. And man, I messed up on that detail. I should have paid attention. And again, that's nothing. When we have to eat Mexican, we'll eat Mexican food.
It's just that I don't like spicy foods.
She doesn't like spicy food.
I have an allergic reaction to something spicy, and I still don't know yet
what it is. Oh my
God!
And that day turned out to be like everything.
It was spicy.
Oh my God! And then the service was bad.
Yes.
And and it wasn't really authentic Mexican food either. I learned my lesson. How about that? I learned my lesson, but it was an eye opener for me to learn how to pay attention to her, pay attention to the things she likes, pay attention to the things she doesn't like, pay attention to the things she enjoys doing. Like now I know that she enjoys being close to the ocean. So if I'm gonna do something for her, I know I'm gonna score big if I take her to a restaurant where it has like a nice view of the ocean, or we can take a nice walk in the beach. So those things are important. As small as like one of the things my wife enjoys is those Hostess cupcakes with the 99-cent Arizona iced teas. And I'm not doing a commercial for them at this moment, but that's what she likes. And so imagine, so sometimes I'm at the gas station putting gas, and I'll get it for her, and I'll bring it home. Imagine what that will do to her. It lets her know that I was thinking about her, even at the gas station. And so it's about, details is about you paying attention to what they like. The same she will do for me.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we also share about small details is, my husband loves to surprise me with, letters, love letters. And a little post-it, that's simple as that. You'll leave it in the bathroom. He'll leave it wherever he knows that I'm going to go first. He'll leave it there and just says, I just wanted to tell you how much I love you, how much I'm thinking of you, or, how happily married I am. Those little details out of the blue, they mean so much, and they just don't cost a thing. Literally a little post-it, a little pencil, and sticky note, and that's all it is. But those details matter. And why are we talking about that today? It's because it keeps your relationship going. It keeps it interesting. It keeps, not necessarily with words all the time, but I'm like, wow, I know he had a rough week, but that little nail is telling me that he loves me. He cares for our relationship. He cares for our marriage. And that's so important. So for those couples, if there was something that, in that to-do list that you have not done for your wife, and you just keep putting it off, I think it's time for you to do what was in that to-do list and do it for your wife, because I think that's going to be one of those moments of that small details that, wow, he actually did what he said he was going to do. And that's, again, being reliable. Being reliable to your spouse means so much, because it means that you care enough for them.
Reliability also builds trust. When you're reliable, that person begins to feel like they can trust your word, that you're a person of integrity. So reliability is super important. Reliability is what helps build trust, because you start with one thing, and at first when you got together with your spouse, you really didn't know each other, and little by little, it was really by what you say and what you do, and your consistency and your integrity and where you are in life, that really builds that trust. And it's important that we follow that, and that we pay attention to those actions that we take in life. One of the things I brought in, my wife knows this one. These are called Mr. and Mrs. Coupon Book, and we got this out of Majesty. Was it Majesty or Morningstar as well?
Yeah, Morningstar.
Before it was Majesty, but now it's Morningstar in Manchester. But you can also find them, I think, on Amazon and other places. So really what it is just coupon books that I'll give you an example of one. So this one says, redeem this coupon for the massage of your choice, back, neck, foot, all of the above. And what I do is either my wife uses it or I use it. So the way it works, and then it has a scripture in the back relating a little bit to the coupon. This one is 1 John 3:18 from the TLB version. It says, let us stop just saying we love people. Let us really love them and show it by our actions. Mm-hmm. So basically I can put this in my wife's, somewhere where she can see it or give it to her. And she doesn't have to use it right there and then. Whenever she wants it, she would say, oh, you know what, today I want a neck massage, and you redeem the coupon. Yes. She gives it to me, and then I'll do that even if I'm tired. But there's other ones. There's real cool ones in here. This one's, a walk in the park sounds perfect today. Will you join me? And then you can leave that one, and that one has its own scripture as well. They're really cool. They're very creative, especially for some of us who are not as creative as we want to be. So this is very it's well for like details and things like that, just so you can keep each other in a good place.
Yes, I think it's really important. I think in just sometimes another example of a small gesture and small details is like, have you ever sat down with your spouse and just said, you know what, let's talk, and you just didn't listen? You don't need to accomplish anything. You don't need to fix the problem. Listening is such a relief of sometimes we just need to vent, and just having someone there just listening, that to me sometimes, me and Joel do it all the time. It's just like, I just want you to listen to that. I don't want you to fix my problem. I don't want you to say anything. Just listen to me. That's something really important that we can also do as a small detail in our marriage.
Yeah, I mean, we have to pay attention again, because these things require paying attention to our spouses. And when was the last time you paid attention to your spouse and the shoes that she likes, or the dress that she likes, or how she likes to dress? And when was the last time you paid attention to the kind of movies your spouse likes to watch? When was the last time you paid attention to what they like to eat? When was the last time you paid attention to her favorite park, his favorite park? When was the last time you paid attention to their favorite place to go? When was the last time you paid attention to their favorite food? Mm-hmm. I mean, their favorite candy. I mean, all these things
make
a big difference.
The last time you surprised your spouse at work?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
Yeah, I like to be surprised. She just did it the other day. We were actually on a fire drill, and I see my wife. I'm like, whoa, hold on, that lady looks familiar. But that made a big difference in my life because it brought a smile to me. And thank you, love, for surprising me.
Yeah, you do it to me all the time.
That's not to like be snooping around on your spouse. It's just a moment you take. Just spend some time together,
Take her out to lunch.
I challenge you.
Yes.
I challenge you to pay attention to the details of your spouse, so you can make sure that details matter and that they are important in your own life. And that will help your marriage grow and feel stronger in the days when things are not that well.
Yeah, if you are faithful in the little things, you'll be in the big ones. If you're there for each other in the small things, when big things come in your life, you're there for each other as well.
All right, so thank you again for joining us. Follow us on Facebook on I Take D Ministry.
Yes.
If you have any questions, send us to us privately so we don't put yourself out there. And please share this video with people you believe that can benefit, and it will be a blessing to them. So God bless you, and until next time.
That's right.
Don't I take thee.